Cptsd vlog number 19, I think. And it is March 5th or 6th. It's the day after Ash Wednesday. So it's probably March 6th. And I'm feeling a fair bit better. I do think that my loxapine is still kind of messing with me. I wish I could be off of antipsychotics, but it takes a while to taper off, to get off of them. I'm feeling better from the keto diet. I got my keto blood meter, my Keto Mojo blood meter, and it's like, it comes in this little case, and it's just like this. And basically all you do is you take the little poker called the lancet, and you poke your finger with it, get a little drop of blood to come out. It hurts a little bit. It's more, the anticipation of poking your finger is worse than what the actual poke. And then you put a test strip into this little machine. Oops. It looks like a big Tamagotchi. I don't know if anybody remembers those. It looks like a big Tamagotchi. And then you just measure your blood on the test strip. And it came with, I think, around 70 to 80 test strips. Because I got the more expensive one. Or like the bundle or something. And then it'll give you a readout on the meter, and it'll say like what your ketones are, millimole per liter of blood. And I measured mine yesterday, and it was 1.1. And 1.1 is pretty good. I think that some people would even consider that to be good enough. But I think for medical ketosis, there's been, or medical ketogenic therapy, there's been recommended levels of like at least 1.5 and all the way up to like 7 or something like that. So I'm going to try and keep getting my ketone levels higher. And just basically, I'm going to try and see, based on how I feel and measuring my ketone levels, do I feel good when it's at one ketone? Do I feel good when it's at 1.5? Do I feel better when it's at 2? And sort of go like that, and then get a kind of a range that I know I'll feel good and consistently. And that's really huge for me because I've been, really had inconsistent mood problems for much of my life. So the ketone meter is helpful. And and then another thing, so there's mood, there's reading level, and then the third thing would be food. So I can kind of keep an eye on it. I still have to do a little more research on like how long after you eat something does it go into your system and affect, like, change your ketone level, so that I know, like, okay, I ate, let's say, something at breakfast. I can wait until an hour or 2 hours, and then I can test my blood, and I can know that my ketone levels are a reflection of what I ate. And then so with that third thing, food, reading, and feeling, then I can just have an idea after a certain amount of testing and stuff. Oh, okay, well, when I eat like this, I'll be okay. It keeps my ketone levels at a certain level. And when my ketone levels are at that certain level, I feel pretty good. So that's what I'm kind of focusing on right now with the keto diet, metabolic therapy. And Oh, I went to Safeway this morning, and I found they have a bunch of Carbonate products in their freezers. Carbonate is like a brand of bread, and so I bought a whole bunch of stuff here. I'll show you guys the vlog. So actually, I bought a whole bunch. It was expensive. These are like double the price of regular bread, and bread already is expensive in Canada. But anyways, so I got this one because it said certified keto, so it's the unbread. I wanted to try it out. And then I got the Carbonate, which was recommended by the dietitian. Get that brand. So I got the bagels, and it says it has a lot of carbs, but actually the net carbs is what you're looking for, which net carbs comes from carbs minus fiber and also minus sugar alcohols, I think. So it's actually only 3 carbs per serving. And then I already used 2 of these with my burgers. These are hamburger buns, and they were good. It felt like eating a regular burger. Not just, before I was just eating the patties because I thought I couldn't eat bread or buns. And then this is the what is this? Oh, this is just multigrain bread. And then these are the tortillas. So those would be good for making wraps. And then I bought these little ones, which I kind of regret a little bit, because now the only thing I can really make with those is like tacos. But I was just kind of excited, so that's why I bought the little ones too. But it was expensive though. Oh, and the other thing is I cleaned up my place, so I that girl that I like from church but that doesn't like me back, she was coming over, so I cleaned up my place. It's nice when people come over because it actually makes me want to clean. So I cleaned the counter. I actually cleaned up my table, and I swept and did some other things. But because it's Lent, I decided to cut down on computer and just like mindless scrolling on YouTube, mindless video watching and stuff. So I decided to cut down on that. So what I did was I moved my computer into a different room, and now so it's more like, it's less easy to just go into my habit of going on the computer. And it's good. It's better that way. Another thing is, my mom recommended me the Glucose Goddess YouTube video on Diary of a CEO. And she just talks about basically that glucose is like controlling so many people's lives and moods and health, and not in like a good way. It's more like a glucose roller coaster for most people. And like it can make you irritable. There was like a study about married couples who have like more sugar in their diet were much more irritable than married couples who had less sugar. And I mean, it's true. I mean, people are so, addicted or like controlled by our food, especially sugary food. So like I'm on low sugar. Like I drink this erythritol and monk fruit sweetener in my tea. Now, I'm still really new to this like keto and low sugar But already I feel better. Like, I already feel better. One thing I notice is that my vision actually feels more broadened and more clearer. Like, I don't just get crazy tunnel vision as bad. I used to have crazy tunnel vision, and my thoughts feel a lot less anxious, for sure. A lot less anxious. I still have a bad inner critic. The book, Complex PTSD from Surviving to Thriving, this book is really good, and it talks about the inner critic and shrinking it. I haven't really got to the part about how the strategies for shrinking your inner critic, but I'm looking forward to getting to that part and actually hopefully shrinking my inner critic, because it's like automatic. Like, the inner critic is so strong. It's always, it's like, and I don't really say this much, but there's like a part that's like cursing, saying like such harsh judgments. It's cursing. It's like saying how things are gonna go bad, or saying like blaming somebody for what they said about certain things, and like judging what other people say, and like, and the thing is like the inner critic, it's like I can't fully tell like what's true and like what's not true, and like, but I just know it comes from a place of like probably like pain or hurt or like anger, and I don't even know if it's like fully my own anger, like, because a lot of what I picked up was from my family, and their constant negativity and criticisms. Like, this is something that is a big deal, because I'm really careful about negativity and criticism, but I don't know if I fully need to be, because like in this Surviving to Thriving Complex PTSD book, it says that verbal ventilation is really important, but actually you need to do it with two people, and like you need to do it with like someone that's safe and you trust. And then he described it in the book as like a panel, a 6-panel cartoon. And like, I think in the first panel it was like someone with a rain cloud over their head and someone with a sunshine over their head. And then the second panel it was like the person with the rain cloud started like talking and sharing their feelings, like what was going on, like ventilating. And then the third panel, like the rain cloud and the sun kind of came together, and there was a storm bolt, and like these two people were talking, or the one was venting while the other one was like more listening. And then the next panel, I think it rained on them, and then the next panel, I think it sunshine started to break through, and then the last panel is like they were like both feeling okay, like the sun came out from above the rain, like the clouds dispersed. And so this is like something I've been missing from basically much of my life, and something I really have craved for a long time. And it's something that when you're lonely, like if you feel lonely, like I felt really lonely, that you are basically missing, because you're missing that other person, you're missing that ability. You could call it maybe an ability, or like, I think it's a natural ability, but you're missing that that feeling that it's okay to use your natural ability of verbally ventilating with another person. And like, I don't know how this got kind of trained out of me, but I think, well, my kind of thinking or suspicion is that when I was young, probably no one ever like comforted me when I was crying. I don't know if that's true, but it just kind of feels that way. And like when you're a baby, you're supposed to, you learn from like your expressions of, um, you learn from the reactions that you get to your expressions. And so like a baby will cry when it feels like discomfort from um, not being warm, or not being touched, or not um, feeling safe, or not feeling fed, like, because it'll just get a feeling in its stomach of discomfort, and it kind of like will start crying, right? And this is when typically the parent will come and feed the baby, or hold the baby, or um, adjust the baby, or rock the baby, or um, one of these things to take care of it. And like I have a suspicion like that didn't really happen to me. I don't know exactly why, because I wasn't able to remember. They have this thing called childhood amnesia. You don't actually remember. Um, you you only have like your earliest memories. Some people say they can remember like really young, but for most people, like, we can't remember at a certain point. Our memories start, is what it seems like. Like my earliest memory, I can remember like a daycare and playing in a sandbox. Um, and um, so I guess what I was trying to say was verbally ventilating. That's sort of like, it's sort of a natural thing, but we get trained somehow to like shut up, or to stay silent, or um, don't say what you're thinking or feeling, because you'll get bullied, or you'll get mocked, or you'll get made fun of, or someone will get mad, or something like that. And like, that's really common, I think. Like, and it can put us into, I think it could put us, can like reinforce us to be in like a fight or flight or freeze or fawn state. Because like, what happens when you don't get those when you're a baby and you don't get the reactions um, that are soothing, that are naturally soothing to the nervous system, and like teaches your nervous system that it's okay when you're a baby, is that the brain, or the autonomic nervous system, will try and protect um, the baby. Will try and protect itself, and so it'll put you into like a freeze, a fight, flight, or freeze or fawn state. And when you're a baby, you're not fighting, so or you're not really fleeing either, depending on how old. But more likely, you go into like a freeze or a fawn state, and this is sort of like dissociation. And dissociation is kind of like a separation between your kind of like full self in your body, and it's sort of a move away into like something safer, where you feel less. And I think I've certainly felt dissociated for a long time, but I couldn't even tell if I felt dissociated, because I think like I don't really feel things as much, like, and so I kind of lack that interoception, maybe, or like I don't even know how things are supposed to feel. But Yeah, and that, to be honest, can be really exhausting, not knowing how things are supposed to feel, and kind of always having to guess, and always feeling like I'm in like a panic mode, but I have to put on a face when I'm in public, and kind of makes me feel like it has made me feel like really unwell, like a robot, um, constantly having to sort of appease other people and make sure other people feel okay about how I feel when I don't even know how I feel, because people seem to always be trying to like ask me like, are you okay, or like, how's it going, how are you, or like, I don't know, it just ugh. Something I notice, I'm kind of just rambling, but I noticed that paranoia is really tough because I when I'm walking around and stuff and I'm just trying to do stuff, a lot of times like the world feels sort of unfriendly, and it seems like people are like whenever I look at people, it looks like they're looking at me, and I don't like that. I really don't like, because it's like I glance up and there's someone looking at me, and it almost makes me angry or irritated, and and it makes me feel kind of like it plays into my delusion or something. Like, do they think I look good? Do they think highly of me? Do they think low of me? Like, what is your problem? Like, quit staring. Like, um, so yeah, just paranoia can be a real pain because it's like it. Honestly, I think it comes later. Like, it's a symptom of um, you know, all these things I talked about, like nervous system things. Cat, off the counter, you. But yeah. So, anyways, um, I guess. So what else I'm trying to do? I'm feeling a bit better with the keto diet, and I'm going to try and go to the library today just to get some outside, like just to be outside, be near people, get used to being near people. So sort of like what my therapist told me to do is, get used to being near people. Um, but I'm gonna go to the library. I'm gonna try and just sit and read. I might bring earplugs because there's usually people talking loud. But yeah, I might go to the library and try and read. Um, so, I I feel a bit off from the loxapine. I don't know what to say next, actually. I kind of vented out what I need to vent out. I mean, I don't have anyone to talk to, really, which sucks. Well, I guess in politics world, things are going good for the U.S. I think things are going good for the world, in terms of uh, Trump's making good calls, good deals. He's basically leading. Kind of knows what he knows what to do. It seems, and there's a lot of good going on. Um, of course, the Democrats are unhappy, and a lot of people in Canada are unhappy. But I just feel ugh, like a lot of people are caught in fear, like really caught up in fear, and it's sort of like a perpetual fear where it's like they don't even really fully realize it, maybe. But eh, it makes me feel not good. But I think that what was I gonna say? Oh, right. I think that the war in Ukraine will end within 3 months or within 6 months, but it could be even sooner than that. Because now Zelensky said he's going to come to the table. Like, he said he's going to come to the negotiating table, which is really good. And Trump was really hard on him, which honestly he deserved it because he's the leader of all these people who are dying. It's like, go for peace. Now, of course, it's a complicated situation, but in terms of making the best of it, I think stopping the war sooner is better. And I think, unfortunately, there's going to be all these companies and everything going into Ukraine to try and rebuild it and basically make a bunch of money off of it. But I'm talking about like BlackRock, State Street, maybe it was Vanguard was the other one. But yeah, but I think that that's better than war. Ugh, I don't even like to say that, but I think that let's just say that it's better to stop the war sooner than later, because there's like tons of people dying. Like, imagine being a soldier and having to go fight that war, and it's so horrible. Like, um, I mean, they're very brave, but it's having to die for that would, yeah, that's just horrible. And hopefully they can end that war and negotiate peace. Peace would be good. Peace is good. Um, uh, so yeah. Mm, Elon Musk says that a lot of people are mad at Elon Musk too, but what can you do? There's always going to be people mad, I guess. But he says that the the Tesla stock is gonna rise. It's projected to rise by like 253% over the next 5 years was one estimate, and then he responded to that on X and said that it's more likely, or he said that it's possible that it would rise by 1,000% in the next 5 years. So I think it'd be a good idea to buy Tesla stock. I might put some money into it. And yeah, I mean, I have bought one stock and I lost a lot of money. I lost like $12,000 on one stock, and it was a student loan, which is like, that's just a big yikes, a big ouch, a big oof, a big stupid move. It was stupid. I'd totally admit it. Like, it was really stupid. And I went kind of crazy over the pandemic, and I bet on a stock when it was super high, thinking it would keep going higher, and it totally plummeted. And so I'm just holding it because eventually maybe it could go back up a little bit. I bet on F-cell, fuel cell, because it was a electric car stock, fuel cell batteries, or hydrogen fuel cell for electric cars. For some reason, it's really doing poorly, but I'm hoping that if it could recover, like, it's down like 99%. If it could recover by like 30% or even half, I would be happy and I would sell for sure. Just not have a complete loss. But anyways, I'm just holding, and for the most part, I don't think about it. I'm not sure about not thinking about things. Like, is it a good idea or is it a really bad idea? Because I know it's a legitimate thing to like just put something out of your mind, but I guess some things are, I don't know. I'm not sure actually. I guess no, I don't know. It's a good question. Because some things, like, we don't need to focus on. Like, I think not focusing on negativity is a good idea. And like focusing on good things is good. But I guess like if it's our health, or if it's our something that's really important to us, it's actually hard to not focus on it. I don't know. But I know a lot of people, like, especially like older people, are really good at not focusing on certain things, or at least making it appear that they're not focusing on certain things. But I guess also acceptance is part of that. Like, processing something and accepting something is a huge part of it. Because if you don't process stuff and you just try and put it out of your mind, I'm not sure if it can go into your subconscious, conscious, or unconscious and still bother you. Like, for me, a lot of like sexual issues are like that. They bother me in my subconscious conscience. And I have an appointment with therapist tomorrow, and I even have trouble like talking about it in therapy. But maybe if I'll try and bring it up to my therapist. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna keep the same therapist or switch. We'll see. But yeah. Anyway. Whew. Gosh, I'm still not sure exactly what I'm gonna do about my job. Thinking I might go back. Thinking I don't know. The job is crazy, let me just say that. Like, it's right in the thick of the crazy wokeness. I really don't like woke. I don't like... Woke is just so crazy. And I worry because I'm like, how do I get out of the woke? Like, did I put myself into a corner where I have to get a job that's like kind of woke? I mean, think about all the people who make their money off of woke. It's like conflicts of interest are such a big deal, because when people have their livelihood in something, when you realize what people's incentive is, it's pretty clear why they react the way they do. Like, when people have their livelihood in something, like pharmaceuticals or something, like, then they're more likely to be opposed to other things, and like even with the keto diet, already people are like, I've had people be so negative toward it. Yeah, man. Whew. I'm still working on conflict, like how to have healthy conflict, or like how to be regulated through conflict. I think that's important. Or I don't know if you can be regulated through conflict, but how to have a healthy conflict. I don't know. I'm still learning. Anyways, that's all.